So first off, I want to start off this workshop with kind of a quote from Satoshi because I kind of think I think it sets the tone for what we'll be talking about today, which is mining just in general. But I think it's important to, I mean, just to kind of go back to the basics because I think as us as Bitcoiners, we kind of we get lost in the sauce a little bit and we forget what this whole mission is about, right? And even me, I'm just as guilty as the next person. And even myself, we gotta take a step back sometimes. And so I want to shout out Satoshi Nakamoto Institute. um was able to deep dive into there and really help me put this workshop together. So I want to read a couple quotes from Satoshi and talk about why I think this is very important. So this is from Satoshi. He said, the proof of work also solves the problem of determining representation and majority decision making. If the majority were based on one IP address, one vote, it could be subverted by anyone able to allocate many IPs. Proof of work is essential one CPU, one vote. The majority decision is represented by the longest chain, which has the greatest proof of work effort invested in it. The majority of CPU power is controlled by honest nodes. The honest chain will grow the fastest and outpace any competing chains. To modify a past block, an attacker would have to redo the proof of work of the block and all blocks after it, and then catch up with and surpass the work of the honest nodes. He goes on to say, we will show later that the probability of a slower attack catching up diminishes exponentially as subsequent blocks are added. To compensate for increasing hardware, speed, and varying interest in running nodes over time, the proof of work difficulty is determined by a moving average targeting an average number of blocks per hour. If they're generated too fast, the difficulty increases. Now you're probably wondering, like, what does that mean? Why is that important? And at least to me, like, what is my opinion on it? So I think proof of work matters. And I actually think like it's very important. And this is what I believe what he was trying to say. I think mining should be earned by effort, not ownership, obviously. I think Satoshi is showing there that the proof of work system is better than something like proof of stake like Ethereum or even the fiat system that we see, right? Like it's done in a way to where there's computation behind it. The amount of Bitcoin you get depends on how much energy, how much proof of work you actually are contributing to the system. It's not by how many coins you already have, right? You can't just take all your Bitcoin, throw it into something, and then make more Bitcoin from it. That's a very fiat way of thinking. Satoshi saw proof of work as a way to flatten the power dynamic. This is my opinion. Even if you don't have coins, you can contribute computation power and earn Bitcoin. This is what this talk will be about today, or this workshop will be about today. This prevents early wealthy participants from having an automatic and permanent advantage. This is my opinion. This is why I think proof of work is so important. You can't just have a ton of Bitcoin and then stake it and then expect some sort of return to it. That's not how this works. This is why I think proof of work is so important. This avoids the rich getting richer dynamic. This is why I think it's so important that this kind of proof of stake, this fiat system where the wealthy can stake or invest their wealth to passively earn more interest or this yield or, whatever you want to call it, this fiat system that we're trying to move away from. That they increase their power over time without doing anything, right? You take all your Bitcoin and you put it into this like fiat system, and then you try to accrue more Bitcoin over it. That's entirely fiat. It's a fiat way of thinking. It's high time preference. And so Satoshi had this mindset of CPU mining as a fairness baseline. This was back then before ASICs. And at the time, Satoshi envisioned mining as something individuals could do on their own personal computers. It was not done, dominated by massive mining farms or ASICs. At the time he said one CPU, one vote. It was brilliant. It's a beautiful vision. He hoped for a system where anyone could participate in consensus and earn Bitcoin based on work, not wealth. Imagine that. Imagine that. And then that's why I love what Bitaxe is doing. It gets us back to the basics. All right, let's get started. So this is going to be a really short workshop. I think this Bitaxe thing is really important. Not only for what I think Satoshi envisioned, but for what I think it does for the broader ecosystem. And I think the work that the community has done around Bitaxe is just incredible. And yeah, we'll get into all that kind of stuff. But it'll be a very short workshop. I hope to open up some discussion. And yeah. What is Bitaxe? Bitaxe is a Bitcoin miner based on open source design. From what I know, it seems to use different ASICs. These are things that have been left, out there in the wild that were, from these other, I don't know how to describe them, but I guess these were just kind of let dormant, right? These were different versions of ASICs that were just left to sit around and just collect dust. And now you can take a single ASIC chip and you can make these, these little things. and now they can run and they can do these magical things. This is a Bitaxe Gamma right here. And they have different chipsets to them. I think it's cool. Each model has a different generation of Bitmain ASICs. Newer chips offer higher hash rates and better efficiency. Right now, there's 4 main versions currently available. There's a Bitaxe Max, there's a Bitaxe Ultra, Bitaxe Supra, Bitaxe Gamma. This is a Nerdax from, let me go back. This is a Nerdax, hang on, let me hit play here. Will it play? Oh, no. I mean, I'll just go like this. This is a Nerd QX from Solo Satoshi. QX has 4 of these little ASIC chips. It's kind of cool. And this is the overview of a single Bitaxe. You'll have a fan. You'll have a little power connector, or little USB down here. They'll have a display and onboard, have a Wi-Fi. It's really cool. And there's really nothing to it. I mean, it's pretty complete. There's something here where you'll have like an IP address right there. You'll have like a little AC adapter. You have a fan right here. Yeah. Let me see if I can switch this screen here to, and the setup's pretty easy. Let me go here, zoom in here. It's as simple as just going to a config page. We can't access it right now because we're connected to a different Wi-Fi. But as you can see here, you're going to see that 192.168. I can't zoom in, but it'll be right here on the screen here. And you're just going to go to there. You're going to connect, or once you plug in the AC. And then you're just going to connect to it. And then from there, it's just going to this AXOS. And then it's just configuring your Wi-Fi, putting in the Wi-Fi password, and that's it. And then restarting. And then once you do that, you can log in and connect to a pool. It's really, I mean, it's really simple. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Honestly, like I'm one of the dumbest people ever. And that's it. I mean, it's really that simple. I want to shout out a couple places because I think one of the coolest things is just the amount of resources that are out there. So let me switch over to that real quick. Go back here. So Vortex is probably one of the best online video resources. Let me click over to here. He can literally walk you through everything. If you want to like know exactly how all these chips work, all that stuff, I would highly recommend going to this guy. He can walk you through like how to connect, all that kind of stuff. That's why I didn't bother doing this stuff. I was like, there's no point. He does it all. He does it really exceptionally well. He can better explain this than I can. The other place I would highly recommend is Hunter and Matt's website, Solo Satoshi. These guys are legends. So they have all amazing products. Like this one right here is the Bitaxe Gamma. You can get it for like 130. They do sales every once in a while if you follow them on Twitter. But as you can tell, they have theirs. You can pick the power supply, choose your stand, and then they ship it out from Texas. You get it pretty fast. But you can see here they have videos. I don't know if it'll work. Oh, there it goes. It's probably just our Wi-Fi. And they go through everything, like all the stuff that they have. They have like a 90-day warranty. They're pretty fast and responsive as far as like their email and their support. Yeah, highly recommend them. Really great guys, hard workers, everything that you want in a company that you're going to be purchasing products and service from. And then they also have resources too, I should mention. Down here at the bottom, where is it at? Their blog. So they also write about all the home mining stuff. The other one is the Home Mining Pod. This is also from Matt and them. I'm not sure exactly because I've never seen their faces, but highly recommend this too as well. I've listened to one or two of these. They're obsessed. So that's what you want in a podcast. So check that out if you're interested in that. The other one I mentioned this earlier, but the Satoshi Nakamoto Institute, shout out them. Yeah, I would just say if you're looking to find out more about Satoshi and about how he thought about Bitcoin, I recommend looking at this at least once a month to remember why you're in Bitcoin. It's just good. It's just good to remember why you're doing what you're doing, especially if you work in the industry or in the ecosystem or on open source. Like, just remember why you're doing this every once in a while. I'm just as guilty as the next person. Every once in a while, I'll just be like, okay, go to church. Let me go to Satoshi Nakamoto Institute and see why I'm doing this again. Because you lose sight every once in a while. It's just good to remember. And then the other thing I should mention is the Bitaxe GitHub. So they have a GitHub. And here they have all the stuff that you'll need, whether it's repositories, the wiki, all that kind of stuff, everything, literally everything. So definitely check that out. The other thing I should mention is the Open Source Miners United. So this is probably the number one place to go for just how to assemble your own Bitaxe if you really want to take it to the next level. So you can even go down here and it'll show you exactly how to make your own. Where is it at? Like if you wanted to do your own Piax, like with a Raspberry Pi, it'll show you how to build your own, and all that kind of stuff with a Pi hat. You can even assemble your own. Where is it at? It'll show you how to get the chips and all that stuff. Even to flash your own. It'll even show you how to connect the pin out too as well, which is freaking crazy. Yeah, it's really freaking in depth. So highly recommend checking out the open source Miners United wiki. It's pretty exceptional. And then the other thing I should mention, where's it at? Where's it at? Um, where's it at? Yep. And then the other thing I should mention is just the people that have supported the Bitaxe, because I mean, I don't think any of this would have happened without these people. So, shout out OpenSats, Human Rights Foundation, the 256 Foundation, and OSMU, and other individual contributors worldwide, for all the funding and support and for making all the open source Bitcoin mining development happen. And then they also have donations down here if you want to support them, or you can shoot them a lightning. So you can shoot them some sats here at their Albi address. So yeah, pretty incredible. I'll post this how do you say it? I'll post this whole PDF. I'll post this whole PDF in the show notes and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's all I got. Any questions?
So these chips, are they usually from older ASICs, or is how do they get the chips? Because I understand that's the expensive part.
Yeah, so if you go to the open source miner United, from what I could gather, they actually have a Discord. And I'm not in any social chat stuff anymore, but I would imagine that's where all that information can be found.
Smart. Discord has a lot of lurkers. Um, but yeah, what are like the some of the main benefits of running a Bitaxe?
The main benefits, I mean, because right now, from I just had on Matt and Hunter from Solo Satoshi on the PlebLab podcast early days, and from what they're telling me, and the right now it's mostly just lottery mining, meaning that you're running, supporting the network, and there's a high probability that, if you're I mean, it kind of depends. Like if you're in a public pool, there's a small probability that you're gonna get something out of it, right? um over time, you know from my understanding, over time, that chance, likely increases the more bid axes that come online. um
Oh, okay. Because so we can mine to keep the blockchain decentralized, and if we're in a specific pool that is running a lot of hash power, then we get better chances. That makes sense to get better chances for like the paper share or something. But that makes sense also why a lot of people are doing like solo mining as a chance to win a whole block reward. Because I think one of the things is that it takes a long time to pay out an ASIC, but if somebody wins a block reward, then they're stacking what 3.25 or something Bitcoin.
yeah, so here, I forgot to share this too. So I pinged Nick earlier because I wanted him, but he's probably, you know, incapacitated from last night's party. But where is it at? Let me see. So there's this thing going on right now called Hash League.
Oh, cool.
I don't know. You know about this, right?
Yeah, I've
So
seen it.
so this is the hackathon project that was at Bitcoin Plus Plus in Austin, and this one, uh, I think that this was from Steven in Atlanta, and so he spun this thing up, and so there's these hacker spaces and other hubs around the world, uh, or maybe it's just the United States. No, this is around the world, right? Yeah, because there's some in the
Antarctic.
I don't know if that's real, but anyway, so right now there's already pools getting spun up in these different places. PlebLab has one of them, or the Austin version of it has one of them. Atlanta has one of them. Miami has one of them. And so people are connecting to PlebPool, which is, let me see if I have it here.
It's funny that that map needs like more hotspots in the north where people can
Oh,
use
this one.
basics as heaters.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can move the map. It's kind of cool, dude. Let me see if I can go to, where's it at? But somebody told me this wasn't actually real. This is the Antarctic. Someone told me because I was out of town that weekend. So somebody told me that this wasn't actually a real. Um,
Just pouring their IP over there.
no, somebody told me this wasn't actually a real thing. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Steven from Atlanta can clue us in. But anyway, what was I gonna say?
What's that, Brazil though? And
No, this was
Mexico?
Antarctica.
But yeah, there are a couple in Brazil and Mexico, so it is global.
Oh, maybe. What was I gonna say? But to get back to that question, the Nick spun up pleb pool, and so this one is this one right here.
Got it.
And so what to get back to that question, so yeah, so like this thing is connected to this one, and anybody who's watching this can connect to this pleb pool. You just go to plebpool.com and then insert this information using, where is it at? Let me go back here. Yeah. So once you connect to these steps, once you log into the AXOS, it'll ask you where you want to connect your pool. And then you could just follow this information if you wanted to connect to it, or you can find your own pool and connect to it.
Got it.
And then, you know, the more people that connect to it, um, depending on how big that pool is, and all that kind of stuff. But Matt and what's his gosh, Hunter were telling me that that some of these have won um, Bitcoin
Nice.
in other pools. So he says that every time, he told me on the podcast that every time um, you know a Bitaxe wins Bitcoin or something, that the sales increase.
I can
So he
imagine
thinks
that.
over time that's just going to keep happening, and then we're going to see more and more of these win rewards.
That's a good social
Exper-
flywheel.
yeah, yeah, totally. So I don't know. I think I'm bullish, dude, but we'll see.
Yeah, I bet cost per bit X is probably going to go down in terms of like real dollars, or at least in terms of sats, because we're going to have more chips getting sunsetted at this next cycle. And seems like a lot more people are making bit axes, or at least the accessories, which are really cool.
Yeah, that's what's cool about this website. Like I was like this week I was very shocked to see the amount of work being done behind the scenes. Um yeah, just like the Bitaxe Gamma, and then it shows you everything. Like all this stuff, the hardware, what you need, how to order, like it's just the amount of just effort and work that's being done.
I love seeing hardware on GitHub.
Like look at this, dude. It's just like issues. Like how do you do this? And then I can only imagine the conversations they're having in Discord. That's what I'm saying. Like there's so much like there's so many different pockets of Bitcoin. Like I mean, we hang out in the startup stuff, right?
Right.
And so like I know how deep that goes, but now in the like seeing this whole side of it, it's like I felt like this week when I was putting this together, it was like I didn't even crack the surface. I didn't even break like 3-4 inches deep. It's just yeah.
Yeah, these are the basics that every university and even high school should teach. I read University of Texas is starting an actual data center or Bitcoin mining farm.
Uh-huh.
So they're like going to power up at scale.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions?
No, this is exciting to see. Thank you.
No, thank you. The other thing I should mention is I'm Car. Find me at the lab, working on PlebLab full time. Thriller. I haven't published on Thriller in a while, so I'll probably publish later this year. I've just been focused on PlebLab, and then I do a weekly podcast that I get a ton of hate for, but I only spend about 2 hours a week working on it. So I'm not sure if it's actually worth it, but I do it for my best friend Keon, and I also do it for the stackers on Stacker News. So that's why I do it. And then also, if you want to email me, car@thrillerx.com. I don't have any socials other than Stacker News, and I'm not on any messaging platforms. So find me in real life or find me via email. That's it.